So you did the branding for a pub in Partick. Do you want to talk about that and how it came about?
Yes, it was. They approached me to basically do. Initially, it was a menu design. So they
Okay.
said, "Could you come up with this menu? As part of the menu, would you maybe look at if there's something we can do with our logo, because we feel that it's a bit too much. There's a lot happening in it." So I think there was a struggle whenever it was like at a small scale, you could barely read it and stuff like that. And I said, well, okay, like kind of most of the projects that I tackle, I was speaking to them about, look, if you thought about like how this then rolls out, like if it's just going to be the logo and just going to be the menu, like obviously the pub at the minute, all your signage is going to need to get revised as well. And they're like, right, okay. And then I was like, then all your beer mats, like basically everything that there's some sort of customer touch point with the logo mark on it, it's going to have to change. And they were like, right, okay, well, what would that look like, and what do you suggest? So then it was a case of going through and giving them almost like rescoping the project, so rather than it just being, okay, come in for a menu and a logo and now I'm doing absolutely everything. We just said, right, okay, let's tackle every point that the customer interacts with when they're there. And they were keen to, obviously, they had to keep the name, so that couldn't change. And they were keen to keep the duck, like somehow, like that had to stay part of it. So it was just, really, how do I take that on and kind of, like you had suggested there, modernise it, but try and retain some of those key characteristics that they had for the previous logo. So simplified the logo mark itself, but kept in the kind of wee small, the kind of wee feature of the lines going across the D's.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was a matter of looking at the duck and thinking, right, what elements of it are they trying to push in terms of like the mark itself and what they're trying to say. So that's why we've got the wee established symbol still in there. You've got the wee hops on its kind of chest that are like the feathers to represent the kind of beers. And also for them, they were a kind of more of a traditional kind of old man pub type thing, and they were looking to try and entertain like the kind of younger clientele. So they said, we're a free house, which basically means they don't have to sell certain beers or drinks, so it's not a distillery owned pub. So they said, look, we're going to get all these varieties of different gins and different beers. Craft beers are on the rise. We're trying to get so they'll change them out in that sort of approach that they'd never done before. So they wanted something that felt much more contemporary and kind of a wee bit more premium than the previous kind of setup that they had. So that was it. We just started off with the kind of logo, and then it was a matter of taking photos of the exterior and then kind of mocking up what it might look like, and then right down to like the glassware, using this kind of almost rectangular motif that then became the window graphics, and putting in some of the things that they wanted to kind of explain about themselves, about the free house and stuff like that. And then, as always, it's always a case of, right, what else have we got? Right, we've got beer mats, and perfect. Right, we've got the kind of runners that sit on the bar, and just a matter of working that kind of brand visual style through it. They also had they wanted a template set up where they could basically just change it up for events. So if they were doing like a quiz night and things like that. So that's the example you've kind of got on the screen there. But it actually came through someone, Martin McCready, he owns a photography studio. And at that point, I was actually working. He gave me a desk space in his studio. And he knew the owners. And it was through that. They basically said, oh, look, if you're looking for something, Chris can kind of do logo design if you want to get in touch, and then it came from that.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, it's fabulous. I'd like to finally get the definition of what a free house meant.
I didn't know myself until I started working with them. I didn't know what it was.
Because I have to see that free house and I go, all right, you're free from the trappings of a distillery or a brewery, right? But no, as you can see there, I love the sort of how everything's kind of brought through right to those flyers for quizzes or posters, all the elements are kind of working together. It's fab, man.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
And some great photography as well. Is this you kind of going out doing the snaps of when it was all done and dusted?
Yeah. So the one with the two whiskey is shot in my studio.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's just I set that up in the studio with the lighting, and the other ones are in the bar. So they are the actual things. Once they get printed up, I just took them into the bar and took some photos of them. I think that one might be a mock-up, or maybe I did shoot that one. But all the items. That's the advantage, I suppose, when you go through a process like this and you have all the printed materials and the stuff that's actually made. you can just photograph it. So it's so much easier than having to be like, right, let's try and Photoshop this and mock it up. So like all the photography, like out on the street and stuff, I just set my camera up and was waiting for the buses to pass, trying to wait for cars to move, and just sitting waiting.
Yeah.
But I think it's, you can see the menu and stuff just behind my head there, just sitting up on the shelf.
Oh, yeah, cool.
But it was a great project. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely brilliant, man.